G'day and welcome back to another mod list video. In today's mod list video I'm going to go through another collection of 1.18.1 Forge mods that have come out at this point in time. Again, a lot of these ones have freshly been updated very recently. 𝓵𝓷𝓷𝓴𝓼 is a mod that adds in a collection of new storage based items that borrows ideas from both Jabba and 𝓵𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼, resulting in a highly functional combat and aesthetic storage solution that is meant to complement rather than replace those mods. Overall, it's pretty awesome and pretty useful to say the least. You can right click on them and pretty much have some pretty good storage based systems that also display the common items stored inside of those storage drawers as well, and also gives you visualizations on how full it is if you upgrade it enough or do certain things for that. Ultimately pretty cool bits and pieces for this mod. Moving on to Iron Jetpacks. Iron Jetpacks is a fully customizable Forge Energy powered jetpacks mod. All the jetpacks this mod adds by default are completely configurable via the JSON files. This also allows for the addition of custom jetpacks by changing certain values and other bits and pieces in the actual mod itself, and the ability to fly using jetpacks into the game. Immersive Engineering is a tech mod with a certain charm based upon the ideas and concepts, and with most assets created by 𝓵𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼. Overall, it's a realism-inspired technology mod. Instead of glowing red tubes, it offers actual hanging power lines. Instead of one block that magically spits out dust while ore's put in, it offers a crusher, a big multi-block creation that features rotating wheels and spilts out particles as it breaks the ore. Instead of a laser that turns power into a magical light in ores, it offers an excavator and does a massive, resource-intensive multi-block structure which digs ores out of the ground with a big rotating bucket wheel. Immersive Engineering is about making text mods more balanced and more pretty, and adding its own twist by going for retro futurism, think Bioshock, Order 1886, Sky Captain, and the World of Tomorrow, rather than clinically grey and white future cubes. Overall, very useful mod if you want to have some more fun with some more technical gaming, with some cool machinery and bits and pieces like that. Dramatic Doors is a mod that adds in taller doors. Yeah, who would have actually expected that from a mod with this name, but basically it makes the doors 3 blocks tall instead of the normal 2 blocks tall, meaning that you can have a bit more nicer and cooler designs around your doors that fit more in with your window designs. But the more important factor is that you can actually ride your horses into your house, Endermen can follow you into your house if you really want them to, and so many other interesting bits and pieces as well. And hey, if you ever want to have an influence on how videos on this channel go, please leave a comment down below giving me some feedback. I'll happily read them and I will guarantee to reply to you even if you aren't subscribed. But if you're subscribed, you'll guarantee to reply if you can comment within the first 24 hours. So subscribe, goddammit. Moving into Tetra. Tetra is a mod that revolves around modular items and attempts to blend together with other concepts such as adventure and technology. Basically, the best way to describe this is kind of similar to what Tinker's Construct does with the various different tools and bits and pieces that you can do with those tools, just without the whole ore combination aspect of Tinker's Construct. Overall, this is a really cool and a little bit complicated mod, but it takes advantage of the vanilla weapons and turns them into more powerful, more complicated, and better tools and weapons for you to use in the game. Overall, something very useful, and you can add in a lot of beautiful things such as double-headed axes, pickaxes, and hammers, and other things similar to those as well. Moving on to TerraForged. TerraForged is a world generation mod for Minecraft that creates a more immersive and more inspiring worlds to explore. It overhauls a vanilla generation system with all new terrain, better rivers, custom biome features, and tons of configuration options to boot. Basically speaking, it's a biome generation. It's like its whole new type of generation type thing, and it's very interesting to see these type of mods finally take the jump to 1.18 because, well, this is obviously in the alpha stages right now for the mod, because the official version is still only 1.16.5, but there is an alpha for 1.18. But it does lead to some of the more interesting things to see how these new terrain mods take advantage of the new changes to the vanilla 1.18 terrain mods. I do remember with Terralith, a mod that's similar to that name, I forget the precise name of it, which made the jump within a couple of days of 1.18 coming out, making a whole new types of biomes and things that will generate in the world, and TerraForged aims to do something similar along those lines. Moving on to the mod known as Platforms. Platforms adds in platforms with a range of customizations such as desks, bridges, mine shafts, or even wooden coaster supports, allowing you to create a bunch of different beautiful things to do with your railway line / bridges and other things along those lines, device that ultimately adds to the ability to make more decorative structures in your game and make things far more interesting, especially if you try to make some roller coasters in Minecraft. Moving on to our next mod here, we've got Quark 3.0, which has made the jump to version 1.18. Now this version of Quark has actually removed a bunch of the features that were present in the previous version of Quark. For example, a bunch of the underground bits and pieces such as 𝓵𝓷𝓷𝓼 and 𝓵𝓷𝓷𝓰 and stuff along those lines, as well as such things such as a new underground biomes that they had in their version of the mod, which have been removed with the introduction of 1.18. But there's also been a bunch of new things that have been added in alongside it, adding in a bunch of new biomes and other bits and pieces along those lines that have just made some nice, beautiful changes that overall just make the game just that slight bit better and a bit more interesting for the average player, and a bit more new bits and pieces, new stone variants, new stone types, adding the ability to have like your bits, like it's ultimately a really deep mod. Even though it's meant to be a bunch of small things, it is many small things, and I highly suggest you check this one out. Moving on to Vampirism. Vampirism is a mod that will add the ability to become vampires, strong bloodthirsty entities which do not act like the sun but don't fear the night, and the best thing is you can become one. You can also become a vampire hunter and start fighting these evil creatures and so many other bits and pieces along those lines. This also adds in a bunch of new bits and pieces into the world. Besides new mods, there's also a new biome known as the vampire biome, which is a foggy biome, mostly accommodates vampiric creatures and is the home of the vampire barons you need to fight for some ritual items. Now, vampires also like to suck bloods from villagers and multiple other bits and pieces. Overall, this mod is very intriguing and interesting to play with. Moving on to Customizable Elytra. Customizable Elytra allows you to pretty much just dye elytras with dyes. It also gives you the ability to place banners onto them in the same way as leather armor and onto shields, basically giving you the ability to have much more customized custom elytras that kind of can match your shields in a way if you really want to try that. And also another beautiful thing is you can split an elytra into two separate wings, and you can customize each wing to be different to the other to make an even cooler custom design. Moving on to Progressive Bosses. Progressive Bosses is a mod that makes the Wither and the Ender Dragon harder each time a new one is fought. It also makes the Elder Guardians harder to fight. This is fully compatible with multiplayer, adjusting the difficulty based off of the players around the boss itself. Basically, it adds scalable health, making the Ender Dragon and the Wither a little bit more difficult to fight them each and every time you go to deal with them, which I feel like is a cool challenge to the game. Next we have 4 Elemental Swords, which is a mod that just adds in 4 different elemental swords which can also be combined together to make a Sword of the Gods. Basically, these swords gives you a bunch of different potion effect abilities when you're holding them, and also do an increased amount of damage in comparison to your typical Netherite sword. And when you combine them all together, it gives all the effects of the 4 swords combined, as well as a much higher increase in damage of an attack of 24 with a base speed of 3.4. Overall, really cool set of swords for you to add into your Minecraft world. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button down below, and also check out this video on screen now for some more Forge mods. Goodbye!